Good evening, all. On behalf of ISMA, Indian Society of Management Accountants, we welcome you all. I am Ramji Mahadevan, Chennai chapter chairman. Today, we are going to have the webinar on MSME verticals. We have two great speakers who are very seasoned professionals in this area and have hands-on experience in MSME. They have really helped a lot of business people to get banking loan facilities, power tariff subsidies, export subsidies, and loan installments default helpness and all. They have got it, uh, and they helped for companies, private limited companies, partnerships, sole proprietorship firms. I also welcome Mr. Pankaj Jain, our president of ISMA. Mr. Pankaj Jain will start the webinar with his presidential note. Uh, so I request Mr. Pankaj Jain to continue, please. Once again, I thank all of you for joining this event. Thank you all. Mr. Pankaj Jain, sir, please proceed.
Muted. On your instruction, I'm muted now. Now you're getting me? Okay. So, CMA Ramji Mahadevan, chairman of the Chennai chapter of Indian Society of Management Accountants, and our speakers for today webinar, CA Shri V. Ravindran ji and Shri CA हेमंता कुमार जी, और जितने भी लोग आज हमें अभी इसको प्रोग्राम को लाइव देख रहे हैं और इस प्रोग्राम को बाद में लाइव देखेंगे, सभी लोगों को मेरा बहुत बहुत सादर प्रणाम. So it is my privilege and pleasure to be amongst you. And at the outset, I am, thankful to CMA Ramji Mahadevan for conducting such a wonderful program for the benefits of the all MSMEs. As you all very well aware of that, MSME is the backbone of the Indian economy, and it contributes highest contribution in the GDP of our country. And the 5 trillion target which government of India has set for ourselves. So we are expecting that unless we see the exponential growth of MSME, this target we cannot achieve. So the growth of the MSME is very, very important. So I am really delighted to see the topic which our speakers and our chapter chairman and Susan, and I have got the excellent feedback before the event was on hand, that this is a very, very excellent topic, and it is true to the core because everyone is interested to understand the practical aspects. There are a lot of programs are happening which are giving you the theoretical perspective, theoretical aspects, but the people are more interested that what are the schemes, how they can prepare their reports. So I think the program you have designed is an excellent program you have designed, and I'm sure that all the participants and MSMEs who will see this program live or who will see this program after conducting this program on offline basis, they will be immensely benefited. So as far as my personal mission is there, so I would also like to share my personal mission as a professional, because this is a government mission, self-reliant Bharat, 5 trillion economy. So these are the missions which government of India is targeting. But point is that how as a professional, we can set our own mission. So before coming to my own mission, so I will also take this opportunity to explain some words about ISMA. Indian Society of Management Accountants is a group of the strategic management professionals, and we are looking for to create a synergy of the professionals who can contribute towards the growth of our society, towards the growth of our nation, because ultimately our country is looking for sustainable, inclusive growth. Please mind my words. Our growth should be sustainable and inclusive. It should not be targeted to only one segment of the society. It is very, very important that our growth should go at the bottom of our society, so that it should be very. I think you must have heard the concept of great Professor Prahlad, this pyramid, bottom of the pyramid. So I am talking in the same way that our growth should be targeted for the bottom of the pyramid. So before I conclude, so I will share my professional mission also that I have created for myself. So my professional mission for myself is we will create Indian MNCs. So I would request all the participants that if they agree with my statement, if they agree with my purpose, with conviction, with confidence, please write in chat box. We will create Indian MNCs. We will create Indian MNCs. we will create Indian MNCs by transforming Indian MSMEs into Indian MNC. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So, thank you very much outside for ISME President, National Level, Delhi, Pankaj Jain ji, Chennai Chapter Chairman, Ramji Mahadevan ji, and my co-speaker, dynamic person, good friend of mine, Chartered Accountant Ravindran Singh, and all participants, good evening to all. I once again thanks for ASMA for giving this wonderful opportunity in the series of the same month, for giving me one more chance to share my knowledge on the particular very dynamic topic today in today's day-to-day affair. MSME. You might be seeing in papers and as well as newspapers every day and day out the very importance of the MSME, the roles and responsibilities of MSME towards government, and the interest of government, how it shows for giving a golden shaken hand and make them the MSME to the bringing to the next level. So before knowing to that, let us take 1 minute time to share my screen. Able to see, sir? Able to see my view? Able to view my screen, sir? Ramji? Able to see? Able to see my screen?
Maximize the screen. It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you. Okay, before moving to the topic MSME, today's program was structured in such a way, nicely introduced by the chairman, sir. Like today's structure will be for the next 1 hour, will be framed in such a way that we'll understand what exactly MSME is, who will come under MSME scheme, and what is the definition of MSME, and we'll understand what is the existing schemes before COVID, and what are the other schemes which are applicable of proposed schemes, and what are the latest incentives given by Government of India. So to understand that, we have to go to the year 2006. The earlier we have a SSI Act which was developed into, and in 2nd October 2006, there is an act called MSME Development Act 2006. It's a very simple act having 32 sections, and people or professionals like you easily can go through the very quickly. You can go through the section, and from section 7 to 25 is very important sections. I request you can switch off that. Some other, its ecosystem is there. Yeah, thank you. So, if you want to understand about MSME Act, you have to understand any act, the preamble of the act. The preamble of MSME Act 2006 says, MSME Act to provide for facilitating the promotion and development and enhancing the competitiveness of micro, small, and medium enterprises. So MSME means, first of all, you have to understand micro, small, and medium enterprises. So earlier, first we had to understand what is the classification in the section 7 about MSME enterprises. Under classification, it's talking about a few people having an impression that MSME only applicable for the proprietary concerns or partnership firms or unstructured organizations. But it's wrong. MSME will apply the classes and classes of assets of enterprises, whether proprietorship, Hindu-oriented family, association of persons, cooperative society, partnership firms, company, or any undertaking by what are being called. So the MSME Act will applicable, not only applicable for the proprietor or small people like the unstructured partnership firms, it will be applicable for the companies as well as other, whatever name you call in form of the organization, the subject to satisfying the criteria of MSME definition, all those will come under cover of the MSME. That is the classification number 1. So point number 1, MSME will applicable for proprietor, firms and company or any other whatever name organization which are covered under the Act. And one more definition, very important definition, is enterprises. In the entire MSME Act, we are talking about enterprises. Enterprises means any industrial undertaking or business concerns or any other establishment by what are name called engaged in the manufacturing, production of goods in any manner pertaining to any industry specified in the first schedule to the Industrial Development Act 1951 or engaged in providing rendering service offering. So basically, there are couple of industries, couple of sectors identified and covered under the enterprise definition of enterprises. One, manufacturing sector. Two, service sector. Now we may have the doubt that what about the trading sector? Yes, trading sector time being still not brought into the picture of enterprises definition. And if you want to know earlier, before COVID 13th of exactly 1 month back, May 30th, our Honorable Finance Minister in her presentation, she 5 days of Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme. So the scheme which are pronounced for the MSME and different small sectors who are give a hand for taking their business to the next level. So the definition was changed earlier. In the case of manufacturing sector, it will be 25 lakhs of criteria will be only under the investment in plant and machinery in the case of manufacturing sector, to up to 25 lakhs of investment in the plant and machinery we'll call micro. From 25 lakhs to 5 crores we'll call it a small, 5 crores to 10 crores we call it medium. In the case of the criteria for the service sector, the investment in equipment is the criteria. Up to 10 lakhs micro, 10 lakhs to 2 lakhs, 2 crores we call it small, and some 2 crores to 5 crores we'll call as a medium. So in earlier act, before this particular definition was changed, the criteria only made by the act is only based on the investment in plant and machinery and equipments. And as you know, I told you in the case of trading industry, they are not coming in the preview of MSME clarification. And the new definition on 13th May, the announcement of the finance minister was changed, and she was announced the definition, not only the criteria based on the investments in plant and machinery and equipment, it also they brought the definition, revised definition. One more criteria includes turnover. Because if you take few industries which require only investment basis, but a small investment, but it's a huge turnover, and having a huge turnover, but it's a small investment, and vice versa. So to compensate this request in the industry, government is taken a new definition in a notification also passed for amending the law in the 1st June 2020, from effective from 1/7/2020. That means coming month, 1st July 2020, this new definition, what is meant by MSME, let us understand, because it's very important to understand. In the case of earlier, we have 2 types of criteria. Industries are bifurcated into manufacturing industries and service industry. Now, there is no bifurcation between manufacturing service industry. It is a clubbed and made one criteria only based on either manufacturing or service industry. If you want to call as a micro industry, that it will be like sorry for technical issue. Earlier it will be called as a micro industry. Now able to view? Able to view? Ramji sir? Ramji sir? Mr. Ramji?
Yes, able to view.
So micro, now as per the new definition, manufacturing industry and service industry, there is no differentiation. It will be now only the criteria based on both criteria should be satisfied. One, based on the investment, that investment criteria retained, as well as new criteria was brought into picture, that is turnover criteria. That means if you want to come under category of micro, the investment into the micro industry up to 1 crore rupee and turnover is mentioned here. And like the same way, investment in up to 10 crore rupees and multiples of 5 times 50 crores is the turnover. Investment in 50 crores, multiples of 5 times. Rule of thumb in industry for any investment which turnover expectation is, the rule of thumb is 5. So the fixed up to the turnover of 250 crores, it will be called as micro, small and medium enterprises. So this definition was will be applicable only up to this month, and from 1st July 2020, the new definition will be applicable, and it will be investment as well as turnover basis. After understood what are the industries applicable, who is MSME, and we understood what is meant by enterprises and what is the revised condition criteria for understanding about MSME. Now we will understand very quickly, few minutes for registration, how we will be called as a MSME. If you want to go for an organization structure, like in a company, companies will be registered on the artificial person created by, and it will be registered on the register of company. When company registration is done, the company will be allocated one number, company identification number will be given, and that number will be there. But in the case of proprietary concern and in the case of partnership firm, even it's optional for registration. So those type of organizations, if you want to go have a legal title of licensing sort of thing, then you can go for under this MSME Act. And so far you can see the statistics numbers of how many MSMEs are registered under this particular law. As far as 6.133 crores of MSMEs are there in India, and this is the registration process. It's a very simple registration process under Udyogadhar, www.udyogadhar.gov.in, and if you go inside, and you will have a registration, minimum KYC for an individual Aadhaar number you have to give. Now, how every individual have an Aadhaar number, the same way, and for organizations also will have to provide this set of data information, then we can easily register under MSME scheme. Once registered, then you will get a certificate like this based on your criteria. You will fit into the whether in manufacturing or service industry earlier. So now based on the other criteria, new criteria, you will be called as your turnover, either turnover as well as investment should not exceeding basic limits which are mentioned. You called as a MSME based on this. This certificate will be given. This is official government certificate. With that certificate, we'll proceed further. The next question will come once we register. What is the use of registering MSME? There are a number of uses will be bifurcated into two categories. One, I will say that before COVID, what is the benefits available for the MSME? Post-COVID, what are the benefits available given by the MSME? Pre-COVID, what are the benefits available to MSME? We can take it into a number of reduction in the interest rate and collateral-free security loans, protection against delay payments, and fast-track disputes. MSME, I'll take, for example, one or two things we'll take in detail because I was another 10-15 minutes I'll take. And fast-track MSME, especially when we have those MSME registered under this MSME by Udyogadhar, we can go for wherever your dues are not paid by your vendors, your suppliers, your client, then you can go for MSME Samadhan scheme, and you can put up your court in the like court of law. You can put up your case for fast, speedy recovery also. And we have another facility like data bank. How you can have a data bank of other employment exchange. The same way for MSMEs also, you can register in this MSME data bank, and you can be your name, your services will be displayed all over India. For example, a person sitting at Calcutta want to use the services at Chennai. If I registered in your services, the person of government tender, if you're having a Calcutta who got it and you want to take executed from Chennai, he can utilize your services. So kindly go and register with the free advertising services and platform, and those people are registered in the data bank will be given advantage, will be given priority in the government tenders also. And we have a subsidy schemes and reduction in the income tax rates, and all these things we can discuss in detail some other time. Now, these are the things, these are the benefits are already existing. It is not a new thing. It's already existing in the MSME scheme. Only thing is we have to approach the bank and which proper after reading what are the applicable industry, which industry you are in, and what applicable rate of a scheme will applicable to you, and you have to identify and you have to approach the bankers, financial institutions. You can get the benefit. And 1st June, our Honorable Prime Minister of India is open one more website, Champions for MSME, exclusive website, which will be giving massive information on them. And you can have one more wonderful app in the phone. You can get download in the app also. Me MSME. Me MSME is one wonderful app. If you download even in your phone, and you can see any number of your all benefits out of use MSME, you can able to get it done. I'll just show you how it will work out. This is the website. This is the website where all related to MSME will be sector wise. Sector wise, it's specified, and you can click into your client, which are the clients you are approaching it, and you can check into that which particular sector they are in, and each sector if you put into, then again each category wise you can have the information, and you can give a proper suggestion and proper guidance to your clients accordingly. So, and one more, this website, it's very interesting to say, nothing moves unless you move it. Yes, in COVID also our car is stopped. It will not move unless you move. Like the same way our MSME units, MSME sector people are already suffered. No one is exception to this COVID pandemic. Unless otherwise we take and move it forward the particular organization, nothing going to happen. So all these benefits are available. Apart from that, you might be no mudra loans. Small loans will call it a Shishu, and 50,000 to 5 lakh loans will call it Kishore, and Tarun 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs loan will all mudra loans also will be eligible for this MSME. These are the loans already existing and still existing even post COVID also. If you're freshly registered as MSME, if you have missed the bus earlier, not registered as MSME, kindly you instruct your people, those are coming under the criteria of MSME, to register and take the advantage of all these schemes of existing schemes and approach for the taking into the next level. And now I'm going to the on March end, we have a first lockdown number 1. Now we are the lockdown number 5, version 5. Maybe we have to wait and see what is the next. Now today in Chennai we start 5.5 and full-time lockdown exercise is gone. So in this complete lockdown exercise, all not only big, even for small like MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises are drastically affected, and the businesses are completely stopped, and the working capital is completely stopped, and the flow is not in the place. So government thought, our Honorable Prime Minister of India, in his public speech on 12th of May, which the public he addressed, he announced a scheme called Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme. It's a scheme related to self-reliance, given a 20 lakh crore package, full package, never 10% of our GDP, which is one of the biggest package, which given in a 5 days slots, 5 days every day, more or less 1.5 hours to 2 hours of finance minister was taken and given to public that describe about the package in a very detailed way. On the 5 pillars, like we already seen all these 5 pillars, with that we given a scheme of what is the benefits of MSME, which is described. So in this 20 lakh crores MSME in the day 1 on 13th May 2020, Madam Speaker, Madam Finance Minister given a very good announcement for the MSME in first three major funds, facility or immense stimulus package was given for making the people taking to the next level. I repeat, there are 3 packages. First package pertaining to the existing people, 3 lakh crores. 3 lakh crores. Second package, those people are having full-fledged payment of thing and regular in payment of the thing are good performing assets. This 3 lakh crores will apply. Second, I'm talking about those people not having performing assets, non-performing assets, stress asset. There also will be not left. They're given one more shaken hand, that more big hand is given for 20,000 crores. And another category of new category of people, 50,000 crores given for X by the scheme of fund of funds. So another maximum 10 minutes I'll take, and then I'll give it to Ravindran sir for the next topic. So first topic, very quickly I'll take it up. 3 lakh crores collateral free automatic loan for business people is the criteria will be for on 29 to 2020. On February 2nd, 2020, those MSME, that is this scheme applicable for the existing borrowers, those people already having a credit limit and borrowing limit up to either in single bank or multiple financial institutions, outstanding of more than 25, not more than 25 crores. They repeat, either single financial institutions or multiple put together, not exceeding the credit of 25 crores outstanding. Outstanding, that means it's not sanctioned money. It is not sanctioned money. Even though if you have a 25 crores of sanctioned money in your on the day of 29/2/20, if your outstanding is 10 crores, then you'll be limit will be up to do. You should be taken into consideration. And on the outstanding amount, and two criteria will be satisfied. On 29/2/2020, your borrowing should not exceeding 25 crores, and your outstanding 25 crores, and your turnover for financial year. For financial year, this is for February 29, and this is for the financial year for 1920. Provisional financial year, not exceeding 100 crores of turnover, and whatever loan outstanding on the particular day 29/2, you will be eligible 20% of the loan eligible for to take under this ECGC scheme. We call as a GCL scheme. This is called the Guarantee Emergency Credit Limit Scheme, and this is scheme will for the period of 4 years. This is a separate bank account will be opened, and will be called as a working capital term loan. And first 12 months, that is 1 year, will be principal need not pay. Moratorium will be given. Only interest has to be served, and principal interest remaining 3 years has to be served along with that. And this entire money which loan given under 3 lakh rupee crores will be 100% guaranteed by government through NBFC principal and to the government by organization. And this scheme will be already started, friends. This scheme already started. You have to inform to your clients. You have to inform to your MSME friends. Already recently, one day back, State Bank of India itself issued 15,000 crores. Already issued out of 3 lakh crores, 15,000 crores already issued by only SBI itself. You just visualize other statistics yet to come. And on day-to-day basis, government is very closely monitoring and observing it. And the government want to give this loan to the MSME sector and give a hand to them and make them to pick up into the next level. And under this scheme, you should have a GST registration. And if you are not registered under Ujjwala Aadhaar, still no problem. If you are on the day of 29/2, even if you are not registered under MSEM also, you are eligible. Only criteria, I repeat, even if you are not registered under MSME also, if you are having outstanding less than 25 crores on 29 February and turnover less than 100 crores, and still if you are registered with the GST, now you can see the fruits of the use of registration and compliance of GST. Now if you registered and do the proper compliance of GST, now government is properly recognizing your sincere efforts on the national building, and you will be extended this benefit. And what I said, as I told you, it will be as a single bank. If you are able to get in a single bank entire loan, if you get a no objection from other banks, and you're eligible to get the loan from your one bank. And the same way, the same thing which I explained in this thing, is not a problem. And this loan was packed with the ceiling of interest cap of 9.2% fixed. In the case of NBFC term loans, it cannot be exceeding 14%. More or less, it will be like it will be packed, and it is in between 7.5% to 8.59% is the rate which are presently prevailing, and many of my clients are already avail this benefit, and we have to inform to our clients the days, either extending, either taking first in first out, or October. So I don't no doubt another couple of months this entire 3 lakh crores loans going to be exhausted, then this benefit cannot be utilized. So in this pandemic situation, and when golden shaken hand rightly recognized by the government of India and giving the recognition for MSME, benefit out of this. And second side of loan category benefit given is 20,000 crores subsidy for those are in stress. Those people are stressed, or those people are NPA. That means more than 90 days. If you could not able to repay your principal interest, we call it the NPA. Those type of people also, instead of giving loan directly to the organizations, they are giving loan to the promoters, and through the promoters, it will be given back as a capital. Promoters, it is again is come back to the organization. So organizations, since already in the difficult stage, they are not in a position to pay the interest. Again, giving loan and taking interest from that particular organization, stress NPAs, is impractical. So this is the mode of operandi. So promoter will pay the interest to the particular loan under this scheme. And the third scheme, then other operandi will has yet to become. And third scheme, very interesting scheme, is fund of funds. By injecting 10,000 crores set up by the government as a corpus fund, and from mother fund another few daughter funds also another 40,000 crores loan will be gathered by the particular organization fund, and the 50,000 crores, and this loan will be applicable for not only for existing people, but this will applicable for the new MSMEs who are having ideas of having a good ideas to bringing into the benefit. So in other words, there are three schemes. Last scheme is collateral free security of 3 lakh crores, which is applicable for MSMEs who are existing, having a clear account. That is, they are not a stress account or neither stress account nor it's a NPA account. This 3 lakh collateral free loan will be eligible, and this 20,000 crores loan will be eligible for the stress accounts, and 50,000 crores not only for these two are existing, and this is for including new ones and including the existing people. If they have a good innovative ideas enough for utilizing and showing before a good project report, and we'll get the benefit out of this. The idea behind this is that all MSMC want to bring into the preview of stock exchanging and executing the business. And this is talking about up to 200 crores of tenders. Now foreign companies are not eligible to participate, and e-marketing, and another talking about making the place for small MSMEs also bringing into the picture of stock exchange and participating in the day-to-day of share business and making in the growth of the company, growth of India, and bringing to the next level. So thank you very much for in this minimum time which given for me. I think I'm within the time of 25 minutes I could able to cover what exactly it is. So to proceed further on this, I request Ravindranji for take mic to take further into this and kindly explain to our viewers about what is what are the documents that is required for if you go to a loan for MSME, and how the project report has to be prepared. Our August orderings are already there. So for new and energetic members in the organization who are doing the practice of this MSME, you can enlist in. Over to Ravindran. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hemant sir. And this is the first time I'm addressing ISME. And thanks for the opportunity given by the president as well as Mr. Ramji. And he is dealing with us, both with me and Mahadevan, Hemant sir, for more than 3 to 4 times. Almost we used to have some discussion and we have finalized. And in addition to our Hemant sir, I want to add some 2 or 3 points, then I'll go to the projection. And say the scheme is applicable only for public sector banks and not for private sector banks. That is with reference to emergency credit line guarantee scheme. So it's only a guarantee scheme. So that means the government has requested the bank to give the loan. And if the loan is not coming, the government is giving a guarantee. That is central government guarantee. And that too, first year is interest holiday period. And remain within 3 years, remaining loans have to be paid. This has to be treated as a term loan, that is working capital term loan. Interest rate is already fixed 9.25. And next one is immediately on introduction of the scheme, that is with reference to 3 lakhs, that is emergency credit line guarantee scheme. Initially, the bankers insisted to produce project report, cash flow statement, everything. Now, due to the pressure given by the government, as well as in order to expand the economy, now they stopped asking the project report. But they said you have to give the application to the bank. Based on that, the banks within 2 to 3 days, they are releasing the funds. With a condition that within 3 months from the date of sanction, they have to produce all other details and all KYC norms have to be fulfilled. And government, though they said it's a guarantee scheme, they force the bank to observe all KYC, all other procedures just like loan. Only thing, it is based on the existing collateral security. No additional security is required. And as on 29/2/2020, that account should be standard. So suppose standard 1, and the overdue period should not exceed 60 days. If it is 61 days, then that customer is not eligible. So in one of my cases, that party has availed ad hoc on 31st of December, but on 29th of February, the computer shows it is 61 days. But I argued the ad hoc, because this will be a problem for your customers, your clients also, even for you also as a company. If you avail any ad hoc payment, there will be some due date of an ad hoc. It has to be repaid after 1 week or 15 days or 1 month. So from the end of 1 month, you have to take 60 days and not from the 31st December. I fought with the bank and he has been sanctioned with 1 crore. That is he has availed 5 crores. He has been sanctioned 1 crore loan. That is working capital term loan. This is the thing I want to add with Hemant sir. And now only after release of the loan, they are going for MODT, that is Memorandum of Deposit of Title Deeds. That scheme is also there. Everything has to be followed just like regular loan. Only thing, they are giving the loan initially, then they are following up all the other details. This is the thing I want to add with Hemant sir. And already there are schemes, already government schemes are there. That is UYEGP, that is Unemployed Youth Employment Generation Program. It is being run by the state government. And with reference to central government, there are 2 schemes, PMEGP, that is Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, and NEEDS, NEEDS, New Entrepreneurs Development Scheme, wherein you can get up to 1 crore without collateral free security. And all these loans up to 1 crore up to this time, other than this special scheme of Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, the government, central government will give guarantee up to 1 crore under MSME, that is CGTMS, that is Credit Fund Trust Scheme. Under that, you can get 1 crore even without security. And almost all banks up to 10 lakhs without security they are giving. Particularly all women entrepreneurs, they are getting the loan without security. This is the thing I want to say about this. And this scheme is applicable only for MSME. So far, trade sectors have not been included. Sometimes if you are going for audit and if you are applying, you are not supposed to add the Udyog Aadhar right now. Some customers, they are adding that in case of rice business, they are adding rice processing business in the rice trading they are doing, but they are saying that rice processing business and they are taking Udyog Aadhar certificate, and thereby they are claiming that is Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme. So that should not be there. So only 2 things you have to remember. 60 days you have to see, and as on 29/2/2020, that account should be standard. It can be overdue after 60 days, but that account will not be treated as NPA. That is more than, that is up to 90 days, it is standard. But overdue is calculated only up to 60 days from the amount due. So with this, I am going to start with my project report preparation, because this you have to give after getting the loan from the bank under the new government scheme. And first thing, while preparing the project report, first point, there should be a project profile and project report financials. 2 aspects are there. I'm going to start with project report profile. In the profile, in the introduction part, that's the first paragraph, because first impression is the best impression. You have to start with very good introduction. So in the first paragraph, you have to give about the nature of the industry as a whole. You have to give the report. Then what about the role played by the company, by the borrower in the economy development? So this thing you have to give in elaborate manner. Then this will be the starting point. And the project profile preparation is a very, very important thing. Even not only for MSME, even for regular business also, you can get this. And in the project report of the existing, that is about Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, I want to add, while submitting the project report, you have to add existing business loan plus this working capital loan, both clubbed together. You have to submit the report. This is the thing you have to remember in mind. So while preparing the project report profile, you have to add the nature of industry as a whole and the role played by that industry for the economy development. Then after that, if it is a furniture industry, what type of furniture you want to manufacture? So in the second para, you have to say this unit is going to do the industry, specific industry manufacturing. It is not only related to industry, even for trade also you can do it. Sometimes trade plus industry also people they are doing it. Some this everything you have to cover in that. Then after that you have to put what is the status of the borrower, whether he is a proprietor, partner, or a company. Everything you have to give, whether it is a cooperative society or AOP or body of individuals, everything you have to give in detail. Then while giving the details in the partnership, suppose if it's a proprietor, you have to fulfill, I mean, you have to fill all the, you have to furnish all the KYC norms of that borrower. Then about the partner also you have to submit. Then apart from that, you have to give PAN, Aadhaar, business experience of the proprietor, what is the business experience of the partner, director, and about his family details also you have to give, because whenever any manager took that file and when you look into the project analyze, everything should be furnished in detail. You should not ask, because if you furnish more, definitely the question will be raised from the bank will be very, very less. So you have to furnish all the proprietor details, that is all the owner details. Then what is the date of commencement? Everything you have to fulfill in that project report. Then organizational chart also you have to give. And suppose if you are starting an industry, then you have to give the location advantage. Why you prefer that location? That also you have to give. It is this project preparation is not only for the new scheme, government schemes. I am going in general also. So you have to give locational advantage. Then suppose if you are starting an industry some 25 kilometers or 30 kilometers away from the corporation, then what is the locational advantage? It is applicable. I mean, transport problem is very good. Then there will not be any pollution problem. There will not be any public interference. Labor is available. Everything you have to give that in that locational advantage. Then in the project profile, you have to mention the infrastructure details. Whether that company, whether that unit is having proper factory building, machinery layout, machinery is there, machinery layout you have to do it. Then labor availability also there. Then electricity also plays a very, very vital role. Whether even to get the electricity, you have to face a lot of problem, because you have to pay extra to get that transformer into your factory site. Everything you have to do the exercise and you have to do it. But this is the cost involved. So everything you have to do it carefully. Then next step in the project profile, you have to mention about the demand creation. When I produce this, how I'll get the demand, why I produce this, everything you have to give in detail. Suppose in joke apart, I want to say one fellow has started one saloon at Saudi, because in Saudi they will not shave. But they have started a saloon and yes, lost. So the nature of business, the type of business, everything you have to study. If you start the industry, then that should produce automatically produce demand to you. Then you have created the demand. Next step, we have to reach the public, that is to reach the customers. Then in that case, you have to give what are the marketing techniques you are adopting. Everything you have to give in detail. Marketing technique you have to give in detail. Then apart from that, next para, after that, you have to give the registration details. That is, what are the registrations required for if it is a partnership form, what are the registration details required? It's a partnership deed you have to write, you have to register with the registrar of firms, you have to get PAN registered, then produce all the partners KYC, plus you have to get the pollution certificate, you have to get the factory license, PF registration, ESI registration, every registration details you have to give in detail. Then only the bankers, they will see that that loan will be processed in the right direction. Sometimes they say that pollution certificate you have to produce. In the pollution certificate also there will be a lot of different items. So whether smoke pollution is there or water pollution is there, everything has to be specific and you have to give that. Then apart from that, the main thing is government policy plays a very, very vital role. In our Tamil Nadu, the plastic industries have been given loan. Lot of plastic industries have come into the market. Suddenly, government said they have banned the plastic industry. What about the loans availed by the plastic units? What about the employment created out of that unit? Everyone is facing a lot of problems. So government policy also plays a very, very vital role. So when you report, when you give the profile, you have to say that government policy in detail and what are the permission given by. Nowadays in Tamil Nadu, we find that is with reference to granite industry, they put a block. They are not allowing the granite industry to function in full detail because suddenly they have given the lease and everything. Everyone has invested and everyone started to produce, but suddenly they say that we are not allowing you to do the granite business. So everything is stopped and all the granite borrowers, who have started the industry with bank loan or private finance, everyone will be in trouble. Even in my client's case, one client is suffering for more than 8 years. Even he is running cash for 1,000 rupees also he is having a very, very big problem, though he has spent more than 40 crores into the project. So that's the government policy also plays a very, very vital role. Then when you write the profile, you have to write the competition. What are the competitions available to the unit? That is the thing very, very, that is important. Competition is very, very important. Then you have to be given right where all you will get the competition, whether it is from the same area, from outside force, even from the foreign countries, where you will get the competition. You have to study the competition policy in detail because Monopolies Restrictive Trade Practices Act should not affect your projects. MRTP Act should not affect your project. So competition plays a very, very right. So before writing any profile, you have to be a master in reading the competition or competitor policy. Then what about the business prospect? What is the present prospect and future prospect? You have to give that details also in your profile. Then apart from that, I want to say four important things before starting any project. This is applicable including for your life also. One is SWOT analysis. Whether we are knowingly or unknowingly, we are doing this SWOT analysis daily. So this is applicable for your personal life, including your business life, including your industry life. Everywhere SWOT you have to do it. That is strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So you should know your strength and others' strength. You should know your weakness and others' weakness. You should know your opportunity and others' opportunity, and you should know your threat and others' threat. This plays a very, very important role in every project. Not only though the scheme is related to the presentation is related to MSME, I am going in general to write. When you prepare the project profile, you have to be a master in reading, studying doing the exercise of SWOT analysis. Second one is SAPE. SAPE is nothing but any industry, if you want to do it, you have to do survey, then analyze, then plan, action, evaluation. Survey, analysis, planning, action, evaluation. SAPE exercise, you have to do it even for our profession also. You have to do it where we have to commence the business, where we have to set the office, where we will get the client, what type of clients we will get, then how to start the practice. Everything you have to do it. So SAPE also plays a very, very vital role in any project formulation. Then third one is one husband and 5 wives is your life. One husband and 5 wives is your life. So when I say this, everyone will be looking at me. Is it one husband, 5 wives? It is nothing but making the question at the correct time, at the appropriate time, to the appropriation person. That is how, what, when, where, why, whom. Everything you have to be a master. When you write a project profile and everything, you have to give this in detail. Where I'll get the order, how I'll get the order, then from whom I'll get the order, how I'll produce, everything, when I'll produce, what is the time required, everything you have to do it. then the entire project depends on the last point, that is PESTLE, PESTLE, political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environment. Our life is being governed by political decisions. So Hemant sir said Chennai is being locked down for 5.5 times today. From today onwards, it is 5.5. It is not 5. It is because for last 12 days they did. So 5.5. This is a political decision. And some areas they are allowing. In Chennai, they are not allowing. So it's all political decision. Though COVID is serious, but every industry, everyone is being suffered by the political decision. Sudden change in political parties, sudden change in political decision will affect your factory. Then E stands for economical. Unless until you are economically sound, you will not run the project. Then social status. Your social status is important. I am the managing director, I am the director, I am the partner, I am the manager, everything you have to say. So social status is very much important in the society. Then T stands for technological. Even the program is also a technological one. Now we are seeing technological. That is, you are sitting somewhere, I am sitting here, and I am addressing you. So maybe Pankaj sir is at Delhi, I think. He is at Delhi, I am at Salem. So when I want to go to Delhi, I have to travel to Chennai for 3.5 hours or 4 hours. From there, I have to catch a flight. If I go by flight, it will take another 4 hours to reach the airport. From there, maybe 2 to 3 hours. Now it's technologically, we are sound. So across the counter, we are seeing. Then law. Our entire business is related and controlled by legal provisions and law. Then environment. If you start an industry, it should be properly situated in a good environment. And suppose if it is any pollution is being created, then your industry will be in trouble. So when you write a project profile, you have to do all these exercises. This SWOT, SAPE, 1as1, 5i, and PESTLE, that you have to do it. Then I'm going for the project profile. In the project, what are the points you have to cover in the financial aspect? First thing, what is the loan amount required? For that, you have to you have to collect all the details of the entire project, including furniture, including the computers. Normally, what we are doing, some customers, what they are doing, they are taking only the machinery only into the account. They are not caring about the furniture, because no customer will be allowed to sit in the floor. So you have to add furniture cost. What are the things you want to add? Everything should be added in the project cost. Then among the machinery, everything, if it is included in the machinery, then the bankers put that the margin money. What is the margin money? Margin money means the owner's contribution towards that project. That is called margin money. For that, sometimes they put 15% or 20% or 25%. That is called margin money. Remaining amount will be financed by the banker. Then the DD against that machinery will be given directly. The loan is being sanctioned by the bank. Then the payment towards the machinery will be directly being made to the machinery supplier and not to the customer's account. If you happen to see any such thing, and or if you are requesting like that, then if an auditor like me see, I'm actually, if any amount is being credited directly to the customer's account, I'll treat that account as fraud, because you have to make direct payment only to the supplier and not to you. Then after that, you have added machinery. Then what about the factory building? Because the factory building may be on rental basis or maybe on your own. So if you are doing the machinery, factory building, then that means you have to take the land on your own. Then that land should be approved, and then to construct the factory, then you have to add the plan approval to that factory. This is the thing, you have to take it with reference to factory building. Then in the factory building, the amount will be released on stage by stage. So everything you have to include in the project profile. Project financials, you have to include at what time I have to need this fund, what time I have to need this fund. Everything you have to give. Next thing is about the working capital requirement. What are the working capital? So I have purchased the machinery, I have constructed the building. Now I want, without working capital, no one will survive. So what is the total extent of working capital required for how many days? Suppose if I sell it, if I have to sell it, then I have to sell it on credit. Then credit may take 45 days to come back. So I have to make provision for 60 days because we know that the amount will come in 45 days, but we have to give cushion for another 15 days. So within 2 months, I have to do the collection. So everything should be included. If what are the amounts, what are the stock I have to maintain as a raw material, as a work in progress, as a finished product, and finished product, whether it is perishable or non-perishable, everything you have to do it. So this is the covered. So project, the first thing is loan amount required. Second one is you have to work out the project cost in the form of factory building, machinery, and working capital. Everything you have to do it. Then for each and every loan, there will be a margin for the 25%, 30%. In case of debtor finance, it is 40% margin the borrower has to do it. So that you have to do it. Then this is the base work. Then after that, you have to do the depreciation schedule. Then you have to work out the depreciation schedule. Say if the loan is for 5 years or 6 years or 7 years, whether it is with the holiday period or without holiday period, everything you have to do it. So this is the thing you have to do it. Then after that, you have to prepare the loan schedule. In the loan schedule, you have to do it. What is the number of years of repayment? Whether it is for 6 years or 7 years or holiday period, and what is the extent of interest, everything you have to put it and do it. This is the thing with reference to loan schedule. Then after that, you have to do our trading and P&L. That is nothing but in the project, it is called as gross profit, gross receipts. You have to do all gross receipts in the form of sale, job receipts, and everything you have to put. Other income also, where suppose in case of export, you will get some the subsidy also you will get, then cess all benefits you will get. So everything will be included in the projection. This is the first part. Second part, gross expenses. What are the expenses that you are expecting to run this project? You have to give in detail. In case of raw material, in case of production, to produce this item, what is the total amount of raw material is required? What are the work in progress? What is the wages, direct wages? What is the packing material? Then carriage invoice. So we have to take all P&L items in it. So gross receipts you have arrived at, gross expenses you have arrived at. Then you deduct, you will get the profit before charging. Then you have in the profit, expenses schedule, you have to include the depreciation also. So everything, depreciation, interest, everything, what is the net profit? That is profit before tax, you are getting it. Then from that, you have to calculate the income tax. Then you have to deduct that income from profit before tax minus income tax. Then that works out to profit after tax. Now, any term loan, if you are getting it, you have to prepare DSCR, that is debt service credit ratio. You have to do it in the project profile, project financials. You have to do it. That is debt service credit ratio, DSCR. Normally, it will be around 1.75 to 3%, or in big cases, it will be around even for 1.1 also. Based on the industry, they are putting it. Then how to arrive at DSCR? I'll do it. I'll tell. You have to add profit after tax plus depreciation plus interest on the upper side, then divide that by principal plus interest. You will get the DSCR. The DSCR should be 1.75 to 3. That will be normally acceptable by the bank. Then now we have prepared profitability statement. Then after that, you have to prepare cash flow statement, then fund flow statement, then balance sheet. This is a step you have to adopt while preparing the project profile and as well as project financials. From this, you have to prepare credit monetary analysis. If any loan exceeds 1 crore, you have to submit. Even in a lot of my cases, I used to submit even for 10 lakhs also. I used to submit CMA, that is credit monetary analysis, where you will get CMA. You will get in the market itself. Even if you are very well versed with bankers, you can go and ask, sir, kindly give me a soft copy. They will definitely give. So I have got some from 3 banks. I got CMA. Based on that, every bank's CMA, I'll prepare and submit the projects. Then in the CMA, there are 2 things you have to follow. Everything is MPB, that is maximum permissible bank finance, that you have to see. That if it works out to your working capital loan, term loan, then it is okay. Then second thing is current ratio. That is, it should be 1.33, then extra. It should not be less than 1.33, but this will be less when compared to the industry. Then TOL to QOA, that is, it should be more than, that should not be more than 3. So within that, you have to do it. This is the basic thing I want to say about this. Then as a professional, we should be a master in reading all ratio analysis. Then only we have to analyze the ratios, and you have to give all ratios in detail in the project profile itself. So which one we have to prepare first, whether we have to prepare project financials or whether it is project profile. So it is all get together, all together we have to prepare it. In this way, when we submit the report to the banker, they will definitely consider your project, but everything is being backed normally as per the present norms. Only when you give collateral security, you will get the loan. One. Second thing, normally third-party securities will not be accepted by the bankers, and the title deed should be very, very clear. Then valuation got to be very, very clear, because sometimes the valuation of agricultural land is being valued in square feet and they increase the project cost. So being a professional, you are looking into it as an auditor. If I saw this, then I'll say that the valuation is not done properly. And another request is, as a professional, we must know how to read the valuation report, how to read the legal opinion. We should be a master in reading the legal opinion. We should be a master in reading the valuation report. Even in sometimes in meetings, I used to ask whether legal opinion or valuation can be relied or can be referred. So there are a lot of difference, because managers, that is bankers, they can rely on the legal opinion. But as a professional, we have to refer the legal opinion and we have to form our own opinion with that. Then we have to do the work. And project report, you have to do it in a 2 different angles. One is from the customer angle, one is from the banker angle. If you are going for the audit for a banker, then you have to act as a banker auditor. And if you are helping your customer, you have to act as per the customer's requirement, and you should know all the banking techniques. Then only you can help the customers. In my life, I have prepared a lot of project reports, but it depends on the situation. But I'll see that even whether you want the integrity or whether you want the records correctly. If the customer may be integrated, the customer may be good, but he will not be having the projects, that is projections in correct sense. So everything you have to compile and you have to do it. This is the experience I want to share with reference to project report preparation. And I want to say that's a big professional opportunities available, not only for chartered accountants, even for CMA, even for ICS, that is company secretaries. You go and contact all the banks who are sanctioned emergency credit guarantee scheme loans, because within 3 months they have to submit the project report with cash flow statement. If you charge a minimum of 10 to 15,000 rupees, if any banker is very close to you, suppose if you have sanctioned 100 loans, you see your profit. This is the professional opportunity I want to share at this juncture, and I thank our ISMA chairman Pankaj Jain sir and Ramji sir to give this opportunity to explain few of my experience in this project profile and project report preparation, and wish you all the best. If any question is is being put, if it is being answered, you can do it in the chat box. And thanks for the opportunity given.
Thank you, Ravindran sir, for a wonderful speech. I know that this time is not sufficient for you to take up, but I think our President sir will take one more opportunity to take our use, and for the users, we can have a Excel-based live demo, or along with the participants, by taking a realistic and live example, and we can have a demo. That opportunity in a series of webinars, we can have it. So, any questions to the readers, participants, we can have some question and answer sessions for the last 10 minutes.
Sir, actually, few
Sir?
questions have come, like main focus on corporate sector, and also we will have it in the next webinar also. MSME
Okay.
benefits for corporates and CFOs. Okay, so I think we need a separate session for that. So we'll plan next week MSME aspect for CFOs angle alone. Over to
So-
Pankaj, sir.
Thank you very much once again on behalf of the faculty, Mr. President Sir, SMA Pankajji, and CMA Ramji Mahadevan Sir, Chairman Chennai branch, for giving this wonderful opportunity. On behalf of both of our speakers, thank you very much. Thanks for all audience for happy listening. Have a nice day. Over to Pankajji.
So, hello.
Sir, Ramji sir, you are not audible.
Yeah.
Closing remarks, Pankajji, can be taken and we can close it there.
Sir, you are asking for vote of thanks?
We can close formally.
Okay, yes, you can close. I just would like to make some, concluding remarks that our session today was a very, very excellent, because it was having very good contest setting by the CA Hemanta Kumar, because he set very good contest of explaining very nicely and excellently that what are the all schemes where our MSME get the benefit. And then Ravindran sir made a second part, that how we can take this benefit. So I personally feel that this program was structured excellently, and I am really thankful to all the team, CMA Ramji and all the team, and CA Hemantaji, Ravindran sir, for making all this wonderful session. And I'm sure that those participants who have not seen, because I'm still getting the request, so I am sharing the link, because that will be remain in live. So I have shared this link in various groups having 2.5 lakhs users. So I am sure that lot of users will see this program once this video will be uploaded in FB automatically. Thank you so much, Ravindran sir. Thank you so much, Hemantaji. Thank you, Ramji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.